Wisdom Wednesday, baby. Let's go. I love shooting these. I love chatting with you guys about this. Who's ready for Wisdom Wednesday? It's not Wisdom Wednesday for me. It's Tuesday night, and it is not a Diet Dew kind of Tuesday night. It is a sugar-free Red Bull kind of Tuesday night. And when you see me bust out the old Red Bull, it means that we are in for a doozy. But we're in for a doozy of the best kind. Got all sorts of ship stuff I'm shipping out tonight. Sealed stuff, sealed stuff, Red Bull. Sealed stuff that I'm shipping out tonight, including this beautiful Pokémon Center Celebrations ETB. By the way, if you're interested in buying sealed stuff from me, link below, 5% under market, plus shipping or whatever. Anyways, I'll try and get you a deal on some sealed product. So anyways, you can check out that link below. But every Wednesday, I shoot a video trying to impart some wisdom onto you guys. Wisdom that I've gathered from my experiences leading people as a pastor. That's what I do for work, hence my store, PokePastor TCG, or wisdom that I've learned from running this Pokemon card business, where I've been able to create a relatively successful side hustle here in my basement in Minnesota. And so I think this is going to be beneficial to you. And today what I'm going to talk to you guys about is the pro, or the advantage that I believe you can have of being able to listen, to read, to hear from people who you disagree with. And this is something that I'm incredibly passionate about, and also something that I don't think happens super often, and something that is increasingly rare. We live in a society. We live in a world where it's increasingly just becoming a big echo chamber, right? And I'm not going to pretend like I'm immune from this. I love listening to people with whom I agree. I love getting to turn on a podcast or read a book and listen to audiobooks, because twice as fast, right? I'm trying to take this content in really fast. But I love listening to things, reading things, watching videos, doing whatever, of people who I share perspectives with, because it's like validating, right? When you hear someone give a take or say something that you agree with, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm right. Yeah, see, like, yes, I knew it. I was right all along. Like, of course, yes, he said the thing. Like, you get that like dopamine hit of feeling validated. And I get that, and that's cool, and it does feel good. And like, I'm not immune to that. I enjoy that. And when you're listening to someone, or you hear someone, and it's the opposite, right? You hear someone say something that you disagree with. You hear someone say something that challenges what you think, or that goes against what you think. The opposite happens, and you feel angry. Maybe you feel frustrated. Maybe it's someone that you kind of like, and so you're almost like disappointed. Like, oh shoot, like I like that person. Why do they got to think that about that thing? Like, what the heck? And the temptation is to turn it off, is to stop listening, is to be like, oh shoot, like, man, they gave that take on that thing, or they said that about that thing, and I can't take it. I can't listen to them anymore. I can only listen to people who agree with me about everything, about all the things. And you miss out on so much by doing that. And one of the things that you miss out on is the fact that you could be wrong. You could be wrong. Whatever thought it is that you hold, whatever belief system you subscribe to, whatever opinion you might have about where the market is, or what that translation says, or I'm just throwing out a bunch of things. You could be wrong. You could be. And if you've ever changed your mind before about something, that means that you were wrong about that thing, and you changed your mind about it. You know who else could be wrong? I could be wrong. I could be wrong about what I'm saying to you. Like, that's certainly a possibility. In every time I open my mouth, I could be saying something that's inaccurate, or something that's not true. Obviously, I don't believe that, and that's why I'm saying it, but it certainly could be the case. And so when you shut out anybody who disagrees with you, you take away your ability to learn and to figure out if you are indeed right. Because one of the ways to confirm that you're right is by listening to challenging perspectives, and be like, oh yeah, like my take, my belief about this thing, my opinion about this matter does hold up when challenged by these things. And that's really the other thing that you miss out on, is I do believe that listening to people whose perspective is different from yours sharpens your beliefs, or at least like puts them on trial, right? Like, every time I listen to someone who has a wildly different perspective on this great place that is the Pokemon hobby, like it does make me think and makes me like scratch my head and be like, like, I have this certain view about things. What if I'm wrong? Like, what if this person's right? Like, man, like, wow, like that's actually kind of compelling. I haven't really thought about it in that way. And it causes me to sharpen what I believe. And I think that's really valuable. Or like, you see this in the church world all the time. And I've had a lot of conversations with people where they'll be talking about, listening to someone or reading like an author or, listening to a commentary series or something like that. And the moment that the person they're listening to, the author that they're reading, makes a statement or says one thing, one finite thing about it, can be about something small, it can be about something big, they say one thing that they disagree with, the person's like, I can't listen to them anymore. They don't agree with me on this. Like, I'm with them on all the other stuff, but that one thing, I just can't listen to them anymore. It's like, oh shoot, dude, like I don't know about that. Like, kind of seems like you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater there. Like, I don't know about that one. Gosh, and I think that's a huge miss when that happens, when you decide to stop listening just because you're not aligned on every single thing. And I know that seems silly, but I've done that before, and my guess is that you've probably done that before. And so my wisdom here is to urge you to not do that. I don't think that's good. And I think maybe the third thing, or the other thing I want to talk about, is when you stop listening to people who view the world a different way than you, it does make it more challenging for you to find common ground with people who aren't aligned on every single thing as you. And that is for certain. Like, gosh, holy smokes, is this an issue? I grew up in a home where anybody, my dad, okay? My dad is someone where has a hard time finding ground with people that are not aligned with him politically, right? And so I got to see that like play out. And that's something that I think is, that's tough. That's really tough. And I've changed my mind about all sorts of things, right? And some of that is because I've been able to create relationships with people, create friendships with people, create mentorships with people who I don't align with on everything. And that's really like made me realize that everyone who views the world in a different way than me is not a monster, is not evil, is not some kind of like moron, right? Obviously, I am a pastor. I work at a church. I believe that, Jesus rose from the dead and that we're called to follow him. That's a big part of my life. That's a big part of my story. I also have a lot of respect and hold high regard for a lot of people who I've built relationships with who are not followers of Jesus. And just because they aren't there doesn't mean that I can't love them, that I can't respect them, that I can't have a relationship with them. And certainly doesn't mean that I can't like learn from them, because I absolutely can. And so I think my encouragement for you is, or I guess a question I want to ask you, is there anyone right now that you are listening to, that you are friends with, that you are learning from, that looks at the world differently than you, or that doesn't subscribe or isn't in the same like group as you? And if not, I think you might be missing out. I think you might be leaving some valuable perspective on the table. You might be, you might be able to wring that rag out a little bit more on just life in general, because I think that's a relatively limited view. So challenge, listen to someone that you disagree with. Read a book, which the premise is something that maybe frustrates you, or maybe triggers you, or maybe challenges you, and just read the book and try and find common ground of some sort, to try and rationalize and be like, okay, how did this person wind up thinking this way? And I think that does wonders, and it's going to expose you to a whole different world of knowledge, a whole different world of perspective that you're missing out on. And maybe for some of you, that person is me. Maybe for some of you, you're like, hey, that guy says a lot of really weird stuff about Jesus. I'm not sure that Jesus exists. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's not. I think church is a big scam. They're just out for my money. Like, that's all that church is. Like, I can't believe that idiots do that. But that guy maybe says some cool things from time to time about starting a Pokemon card business. And if that's you, like, that's sick. I'm glad you're here, right? And way to go listening or being able to learn from people that you don't align with on all the things. Because I think that is a valuable perspective that's going to help you grow in life, that's going to help you grow in your business. And so that's good. So again, Wisdom Wednesday, listen to other perspectives. Don't put yourself in an echo chamber. Don't surround yourself with people that are going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. Sharpen your understanding of the way that you view the world by challenging it and listening to outside perspectives. And I think that's going to be incredibly beneficial for you in your Pokemon business, in your trading card business, in your job, in your life, whatever it is. I think that's going to be helpful. That is the wisdom I want to pass on to you this beautiful, sugar-free Red Bull Wednesday evening. So that's what I got for you guys. But I do believe that Jesus loves you, that he's got an incredible plan for your life. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.